Okay, guys, we've got to talk about the David Grusch interview with Jesse Michels, a bombshell interview where he reveals some really amazing, juicy details. So let's talk about it. Get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like, please subscribe, share on social media, and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Oh, and if you wanted to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, please consider becoming a channel member. See the first link in the description below. Okay, let's just get right to it. What does David Grusch have to say about the skiff, about the congresspeople like Tim Burchett being denied access to David Grusch's secret information that he could not reveal in the congressional hearing in a skiff? Well, let's listen.
Level, and yeah, the members are pretty incensed that I believe it was like they couldn't reserve a skiff and then they couldn't give me a one-time read-on back into the right accesses since I left the government.
Do you have any sense of why that was denied?
I don't know. No, I don't really have insight. It was something they mentioned to me, you know, it was security or something denied it.
Okay, I'm not super satisfied by that answer. Honestly, I think there's probably a lot going on behind the scenes with denying the congresspeople this information and this access. And I'm sure that David Grusch is aware of a lot of it, and he just can't say. So it's kind of a non-answer in a way, but it's interesting. Okay, but what about the alien bodies? The biologics, as he calls them. What does he have to say about that? Is there any new information that he can reveal? Well, let's give a listen.
You about biologics. Ross Coulthart in the News Nation interview asked you about pilots coming out of these crafts. Do you want to just speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, it is a mind-blowing side of it, right? It's a little easy to imagine, you know, an artifact or whatever, but when you start talking about, you know, the biological side of it, it really throws you for a loop psychologically. It did for me, and, you know, I talked to the people that, you know, were on that aspect of the program, if you will, and I mean, it comes with the territory. I mean, buckle up, I guess. I call them pilots because that's like our vernacular. I don't know what their actual job was. Yeah.
Non-human intelligence.
Yeah.
But they had bodies.
Yeah, I mean.
Were they alive? Were they dead?
I don't want to get into specifics. Okay. Yeah, I know a lot of that stuff.
Out of curiosity, why are you allowed to say that NHI pilots came out of the craft, but you can't go
Well,
more?
That's all I put in the pre-publication stuff that got approved. I mean,
got it.
I could go back and ask for more, but like I said to you earlier, man, like
not your place, not your job. And it's helpful context for the.
I just wanted to put enough out there, touch on all the most sensitive parts, like the biologic side and like things that really need to come out.
Yeah.
But I don't want to overly disclose because it's not my job, but enough to, you know, put the flag out there that we need to elevate this. This is serious. Some of the uncomfortable stuff, like the biologic stuff, like I mentioned during the hearing, you got to realize some baggage is coming with it besides, you know, the Indiana Jones, you know, warehouse thing that everybody thinks.
There you go. So David Grusch says that he can't say whether or not there are live beings recovered in addition to dead beings. And if he can't say, that probably means there are live beings, or at some point were live beings. He also says this stuff comes with baggage, that the biologics come with baggage. What does that mean? That's juicy. That is a juicy nugget. Try to read into the lines, or read between the lines on that one, guys. Does he mean, because he has talked before about possible deals that the control group has made with the beings or the president, whoever, you know, whether it was Truman, he has before discussed that there may be deals. So is that what he's hinting at with his baggage? Or is he hinting at, you know, the super soldiers, the control group super soldiers, hunting down aliens and executing them, or making war on UFOs? What exactly does he mean by that? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But who is keeping all of this secret? What is the gateway to the control group? I've talked before about how the Department of Energy seems to play a major role in all of this. You know, Lance Corporal Wagon in his UFO shoot down case in Peru, where the control group seems like it shot down a UFO. And then he and his Marines went out there to secure the site, not knowing it was a UFO. Well, then some control group goons showed up to arrest him because it wasn't the Marines' job to secure a UFO crash. It was the Department of Energy, because that is who Lance Corporal Wygant thinks who was employing those goons that arrested him, those super soldiers, whatever they were. So the Department of Energy has its fingerprints all the way in Peru, the United States Department of Energy. If his supposition is correct, they have a global reach. And so that's amazing. And we've heard Jacques Vallée say that in order to be read into the UFO program, you first need to be read into the nuclear secrets. I'm a Texan, I can't say that word. Nuclear. You have to be read into the nuclear secrets according to Jacques Vallée. So what does David Grusch have to say about that? Let's give a listen.
I would probably ask Sarbacher, Oppenheimer, and be like, what was your thought process in the 40s and 50s, squirreling this away? I mean, besides overlaying the Manhattan Project secrecy.
Because Oppenheimer was the one who created the classification that included the UFO stuff?
Oh, all those guys.
That would be retrieved crash material. Yeah. So it's kind of a sneaky way.
No, it is. If you actually read the Atomic Energy Act, if something is not a nuke, but it has radiological energy coming off it, alpha, beta decay, whatever.
Same secrecy.
Same secrecy. Manhattan Project, they were kind of the first blue book. They were getting UFO reports back in the day. There's some people I'm colleagues with that their grandparents were actually, the UFO report people on the Manhattan Project.
So there you go, guys. It looks like the Department of Energy is indeed a huge player in all this, maybe even the key. It may be the gateway to the control group, the conduit for all of this. Maybe the heart of all of this is the Department of Energy. And so that is amazing information. So there you go, guys. A really amazing interview. I know that my editing was a little wonky here and there because of the music that was playing. There's a music playing throughout the whole interview. It made it really difficult for me to find sections that I could use for this video. And in fact, I may actually have to go back through it after I upload it if YouTube gives me any trouble and tweak it even more to make it even harder to watch. Hopefully not. We'll see how that goes. But really amazing information. We know now that it strongly looks like David Grusch is hinting that there were living beings associated with all this. The Department of Energy is a huge player in all of this and has been for a long time. It looks like, let's just say that I want to see Oppenheimer again now, but I want to see the director's cut. I want to see a different cut of the movie Oppenheimer where Oppie was actually dealing with UFOs on the side. Wouldn't that be a nice subplot for Oppenheimer? I think Christopher Nolan needs to get on that, and we need to see, Albert Einstein and Oppie going after UFOs and dealing with that whole circus, because we know that Albert Einstein actually did deal with this. His secretary has come out years later, obviously, and she, testified that, he was brought in to see at least one saucer, and she was present during that. So if Einstein was brought in to see a saucer, it shouldn't be any surprise that Oppenheimer and those guys were also brought in on this very important thing. And of course, they had all the clearances and the technical background and everything. So of course they were. And all of this was going on back then. The Foo Fighters of World War II are really our gateway into a lot of this. Obviously UFOs have been around forever, but I think that they probably really entered the public zeitgeist and people were seeing these things, in large numbers for the first time during World War II over the battlefields of World War II. So I'm really curious, to I wish we knew what those guys knew and what they were working on. Did Oppenheimer work on the Mussolini UFO? That Lou Elizondo and others have talked about that Mussolini got in 1933, and that he brought Marconi in, another famous science guy, to work on. And, I strongly suspect that Marconi used some of that knowledge for his own Marconi company, which is still extant today and is still a very powerful force. It's called BAE now. But yeah, it's a very powerful company. And that would explain the mysterious deaths of the Marconi scientist in the 90s. That's right, yeah, the scientists working on some secret project for the Marconi company were dying very, very suspiciously, a whole string of them in a short window of time in the 90s. And I think that is very intriguing, and I would love to know what really happened there. I would also love to learn what Oppenheimer and all those guys were working on. How deep were they into it? I know they were probably focused very much on the creation of the atomic bomb. So how much time do they have to devote to this other stuff? Maybe that came later. Maybe that came after the war. I would, again, I want more information. I want to know what the hell was going on. What were they doing? What were they working on? And what president was responsible for creating this secrecy? Are we talking, Truman? Are we talking Eisenhower, Roosevelt? Did it go on before then? Because I think the cover-up has been going on since, maybe the early 1900s. That's when all the giant bones went missing. And also there's at least a couple of UFO cases that seemed like they were covered up as well. A truly bombshell interview, and I'm still going through it. It's 2 hours long. I'm not entirely done with it yet, so I suspect I will probably have more to say, and David Grusch definitely has more to say. Jeremy Corbell a couple weeks ago was saying that David Grusch had been muzzled only for a week. Well, it appears that the muzzle is off, and I love it. But let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, give me a big thumbs up. I sure would appreciate it. Smash the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. I would love to see you guys there. If you wanted to share this video on social media, that would be super helpful. If you wanted to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, please consider becoming a channel member. Channel members are rock stars. I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Meanwhile, there are plenty of other videos to check out on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.